Hey guys, my name is Nora Franch, and welcome to the podcast Grateful Blessed Mess, daily reflections for those in the 12 steps. I am a fellow 12-stepper and certified mindset coach, and I am here to introduce you to the value of mindset coaching in your 12-step journey. So if you feel like you are stuck in the steps, if you're slipping and sliding with your abstinence, mindset coaching may help you as it did me, and you can find me at CatholicMindsetCoaching.com. These episodes are meant to invite you in to consider the truths of 12-step wisdom and to join in the very real struggle of living them in action. I hope that it feels almost like a mini meeting, and I invite you to contribute your own share on the Grateful Blessedness Facebook group to keep the discussion going. My comments are based on my own experience, so feel free to take what you like and leave the rest. But my hope is to encourage you on your own daily 12-step journey. As they say, you cannot stay clean on yesterday's shower. So without further ado, let's begin. Hello. Reading from A Day at a Time, September 25th. At the suggestion of a long-timer in the program, I began taking recovery inventories periodically. The results showed me, clearly and unmistakably, that the promises of the program have been true for me. I am not the sick person I was in years past. I am no longer bankrupt in all areas. I have a new life and a path to follow, and I'm at peace with myself most of the time. That's a far cry from the time in my life when I dreaded facing each new day. Perhaps we should all write recovery inventories from time to time, showing how the program is working for each of us. Just for today, will I try to sow faith where there is fear? Today I pray, higher power, let me compare my new life with the old one, just to see how things have changed for me. May I make progress reports for myself now and then, and for those who are newer in the program. May these reports be hearteningly about what I am doing, rather than smugly about what I have done. Today I will remember, has the program kept its promises? Have I kept mine? Okay. So there was a funny quote that I heard I was listening to a tape, like a recording by Fulton Sheen. I don't know if you've heard of him, but he said there are two ways that a person wakes up in the morning. And he says either morning, good God, or he says, good God, it's morning. And it just shows you that you're just switching it around. Either you're like thanking God for a new day, or you're like, oh crap, it's another day. And that's often what it feels like when you're in the thick of it, right? When you're having a hard time with recovery. That is how I remember waking up feeling sick and bloated and being afraid of facing the day because I knew I was going to fall into it again. Waking up in relapse, just being so ashamed and heavy-hearted and down on myself and just over it and feeling like it was never going to get better. And it's just, maybe you can chuckle to yourself and try to wake up and say, morning, good God. Maybe you can do that. Maybe just, and maybe even if you are in the thick of it, still doing that, because any day that we wake up is a day that we can choose recovery. It's a day that we can choose to engage with our higher power, which, whether we feel it or not, brings us closer to who we want to be, right? Now, this excerpt mentions the promises coming true in their life. And so I just want to read from page 83 in the big book, 83 and 84. I just want to read this part about the promises in case you need a little refresher. If we are painstaking about this phase of our development, we will be amazed before we are halfway through. We are going to know a new freedom and a new happiness. We will not regret the past, nor wish to shut the door on it. We will comprehend the word serenity, and we will know peace. No matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That feeling of uselessness and self pity will disappear. We will lose interest in selfish things and gain interest in our fellows. Self seeking will slip away. Our whole attitude and outlook upon life will change. Fear of people and of economic insecurity will leave us. We will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Are these extravagant promises? We think not. They are being fulfilled among us, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. They will always materialize if we work for them. So it's a good reminder. They will always materialize if we work for them. And sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly. And the slow ones are painful. And I think most of them come slowly. So just hang in there. You're not alone. I remember starring the one that really I wanted badly. And it was, we will intuitively know how to handle situations which used to baffle us. Because I felt like that was pretty much most of existing. That I was just guessing that if there was anything that was like a little tricky, like in a relationship, that I had no idea what to do. And my MO was to just wait until it passed, let someone else, take the initiative, or let it fester until I eventually exploded and we just see what came out. And so I've come a long way there. That's probably one of the biggest ones. I think that's going to have like the biggest growth curve for me, is intuitively knowing how to handle situations. But I can tell you that I am better. I am much farther than where I was when I started in program. Absolutely 100%. Other ones that I want you guys to identify, like one that you have noticed an improvement on, one that you've noticed, one of the promises you've noticed coming true for your life, and then identify another one that's like a pain point because you so badly want that to be true for your life. And so I want you to have that. I want you to express the gratitude for what's come along. And maybe it's the same one like mine. Maybe it's like, yes, I have come such a long way in that. And then yesterday I really had no idea what to do and I still struggled. And so the big book tells me what to do, though. It says when you're in a moment of indecision to sit quietly. And that's something that I really did learn how to do. And part of it is just like my personality, my temperament, is that I don't know how to answer hard things in the moment. It takes me several hours to process. And I've learned that you can actually say, "Ooh, that's a good question. Can I think about that?" I used to think there was this urgent, like, I need to tell you right now. I need to say yes right now. I need to say no right now. I need to give you an answer, but I don't even know what I actually think about it because you're looking at me in the face and all that I'm doing is like fighting this fight or flight reaction in my body. uh, and so that's something that just like with program that I have learned gives me the space to then develop an idea of how to handle a situation. Um, sometimes the promises just come true. Other times program gives us the tools to help the promises come true. Another one is we will not regret the past or wish to shut the door on it. And again, I'm going to use this as a both and of both ways, saying like there are some things in the past that I'm still not there. I'm still, every time I think of them, I squirm. It's painful. I don't like it. I still wish it hadn't happened. But there's other things that I don't regret having my addiction because it brought me to the 12 steps. And my life has become so much fuller and more beautiful since coming into the 12 steps. And I finally have a relationship with a higher power who I call God, where, that was a pain point in and of itself where I just felt completely disconnected. So that is what I'm talking about. So maybe actually you can pick one of the promises that you see areas where it's come true and you can still identify areas where it's not. And then we get to practice trust in believing that one day I believe that I will not regret the past at all. because I can see where it then put me in a position to be of service, or it made me the human being that I am today. And I love the human being that I am today, and it can take us out. We won't have self-pity anymore of like, oh, poor me, that happened. It's like, no, this happened. And like, look at me now, like there are, it's just a beautiful thing. I want you to like meditate on the promises, acknowledge where they're coming true, and take to prayer the areas where they're not, because that is where God is waiting to meet with you. With that, I pass. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. If you feel that mindset coaching could help you on your 12-step journey, please feel free to reach out and find me at catholicmindsetcoaching.com. But more than that, it's important to me to give listeners like yourself a place where you do not need to feel alone on your 12-step journey. And for that reason, I've created a Facebook group. It's called Grateful Blessed Mess. And it's a place where listeners can go to add their own commentary on the share for the day, in addition to my own, and for us just to have a conversation or start a back and forth where people can find support in their 12-step journey. This is not a replacement for 12-step work. This is something outside of the 12 steps. It is simply something that has a heart for the 12 steps and those who are in it. And so, welcome. If you are here, chances are you may also be a bit of a mess. And I hope that you can learn to find some gratitude in the blessings that have come from your messes.